Can you tell the people why you think it's important this election? Why do you think it's important to use your voice to the 100 million approximately people that think they don't need to vote? It doesn't matter. There's no difference.
I mean, I guess your vote doesn't matter by itself. You know, it's like one person protesting down a street doesn't do much either. But unless you do that and it joins every other single vote, you're not going to be heard. You know, is that corny? I don't know. I didn't plan this. I know you're going to ask me this, but yeah, this is we're voting for to keep our democracy. You know, this is a long running democracy. We have had a good run, but it isn't a given. It's something that has to be kept in check and something that has to be protected now more than ever, clearly. I mean, you know, if you, right, I've got to be bipartisan. I'm just saying, I think that people coming here seeking refuge should not be separated from their parents and put in cages. I'm just saying, I don't think we should have someone who seems to be very beholden to oligarchs. I don't think that we should have, I think we should vote people out who are in the pocket of big oil or, you know, banks and all this stuff. You know, this is people, this is our one thing we have the vote, and every vote needs to be counted, but you got to vote or you can't complain. And this is a real crucial time. We've got somebody
100%
who really needs to win to stay out of jail. He really has to win.
Of course, you're talking about Joe Biden.
And there are, you know, the mentality out there when you go, how do people lie? Or they know they're lying, or how do people cheat or do things like gerrymandering? And I think it's because in their minds, they think no matter how they get it, no matter how if they cheat or steal, it doesn't matter when winning has to happen. And I don't really know what I'm saying. Is this live? We'll let it in.
I say something there, Sarah, because there's people that are watching probably that love what you said and are inspired by it. And there's definitely people that are watching and saying, this is BS, this is supposed to be nonpartisan. But let me just address that quickly. And I think the crux of what you said is very accurate. It does not need to be a partisan thing, nor is it, nor should it ever be, to stand for what is right. There is right and wrong objectively in this world, and that is separate of the parties. That is, both parties should be on the side of not being in the bed of oligarchs, and both parties should be in the side of not putting children in cages. Of course, that is something that we can all come together on. So in a historical moment in our nation and world's history, when people who have this tyrannical nature are taking over across the globe, it should be every citizen's duty to stand against that. The erosion of our democracy, we can stand against that, Republican and Democrat alike.
Here's the thing, the unfortunate thing is it's very hard to argue or debate or have conversations with people because we are living in a time where we don't have a shared truth. There's no baseline truth. We are being given news through algorithms that see who we follow and what news outlets we read, and are telling us completely different news stories. And we have a group of people who, and a leader who points to others and accuses them of doing what he does. And so it's very hard. The best thing we can do to help from being divided is just to connect in any way we can. There's no point in arguing, but we have to try to love each other. And if we can connect, we're all connected, then people are more open. Their porcupine needles aren't up. And, you know, when we're in fear, this is a proven thing, we make more conservative choices. I mean, even this person that I voted for and I hope makes it in is a fairly conservative choice for liberals, you know? I mean, so we're all very scared and we're a little bit paralyzed and we're very closed. I don't know.
No, can I just say I love you. You know, you started this earlier by talking about people who are in the pocket of others. And I think that's when we talk about having a surge of voters. Yes, maybe that one individual vote, though, believe me, there are many elections that happen where just a handful of votes flip it one way or the other. But in this one, I think it's a clear across the board for everyone that there needs to be a really definitive answer. So everyone should be on the side of every vote counts and counting every vote, and having everyone be able to really to see what that surge is, so that whoever is elected knows that they're in the pocket of the people.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be. And I think it's just as simple as that. Vote for candidates who want your vote to count.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And also, just one quick thing, Rosario, I just want to tag on with this too, because no doubt when you speak about these things, you're going to get criticism. And I just want to make clear that we truly, truly believe that all perspectives are valid and all sides of the political spectrum should be heard when it comes to issues that aren't about morality, when it comes to issues about fiscal policy. Debate it till we're blue in the face. We'll never agree, and we shouldn't. We need countervailing forces in our world to be able to hold certain progress back from going too fast. That's fine.
Morality is subjective too, my friend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I also like, again, when you're talking about we're not sharing the same truth, we're all being way too siloed from each other. And what we really need is debate and conversation and to get into the weeds of these issues, rather than just arguing for our team blue or team red,
And
but
that's
actually getting into these issues and figuring out robust ways to deal with these issues, because every state, every city, every town, every makeup of this different beautiful nation is very different, and we have to approach all of these issues in a multifaceted way. So having this division is stopping progress on all fronts. And I said that because I just wanted to finish the important point that we definitely had some people that lean right on this show tonight, but we went out to many, many, many more, and some confirmed and then dropped out. And so we're trying to have the conversation. Just please know that it's a genuine effort to speak to both sides and all sides.
All sides.
All sides, because there's more than one. You'll see that when you actually get your ballot, there's quite a few people to vote for, and there's a lot of different parties to even vote for that don't normally get the time in the media, but actually do exist and are fighting everything from working families and beyond. Speaking of different,
non-binary for a long time. Sorry, Rosario.
Non-binary. We are not binary. Speaking
Rosario,
of different voices, yeah, Richard, go on.
That's absolutely true. And I actually ran for Congress on the Green Party many years ago. But the Green Party, for example, and these other independent parties may in fact take votes away from the candidate that you otherwise want. And until we have ranked choice voting, that's not a smart thing to do tomorrow in a swing state in a presidential or a Senate race that's going to be decided potentially by a few votes. George W. Bush won the state of Florida and therefore the 2000 election by 537 votes. Ralph Nader, the Green Party candidate in 2000, yes, Sarah, I love Ralph Nader.
I voted for Ralph Nader that year, and I'm really sorry, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. He had over 90,000 votes. And so had Ralph Nader decided to run in other states and not swing states, Al Gore, the most environmental president we could have ever elected at that time, would have been president for 4 or 8 years.
Or George W. Bush could have been president even more officially, and he could have been more cowboy-like and done all of his stuff. It's nonpartisan. The point is, once it gets down to two candidates, it's a little silly in the last end throes of the election. It's like trying to root for the Astros in the World Series just finished. They're not in the World Series. So vote for one of the two teams that's still viable.
Well, I'm really glad, again, we're not trying to shame any voters, because the thing is we got 100 million people who might not even vote at all, who are already registered. And so we don't want to push them away, because they could still make their voices heard. We still have 21 states where people can actually register and vote on the same day tomorrow. And what we want to do is just have a robust electorate who shows up, so that it's not just about, that 500 over here, or they should have done that. You got to make sure that everyone feels like their voice matters and that they should and can vote. But I think it's really important what you just brought up, Richard, about ranked choice voting, and these being the kinds of things that everything from reimagining or changing the electoral college, whatever, are the kinds of stuff that exist moving forward that doesn't have to stay the same. Change is possible in so many different ways.